Have you ever wondered how beef pastrami is made? This beloved deli meat, with its rich flavor and distinctive spicy crust, has been a favorite for sandwich lovers for generations. Originating from Romanian Jewish communities, this staple has become a staple in delicatessens worldwide, particularly in North America. In this video, we'll walk you through every step of the pastrami making process, from the selection of the finest beef to the moment it's ready to be sliced and served. Let's begin with the sourcing of raw materials. The foundation of excellent pastrami is high-quality beef, typically from the navel end of the beef brisket. This cut, also known as the plate, comes from the lower chest or belly of the cow and is prized for its perfect balance of meat and fat. Large-scale producers often have long-standing relationships with cattle farms and abattoirs to ensure a consistent supply of top-grade beef. The cattle are usually grain-fed for at least 100 days to develop the necessary marbling that gives pastrami its signature flavor and texture. Upon arrival at the processing facility, each beef brisket undergoes a rigorous inspection. Trained quality control specialists examine the color, texture, and overall appearance of the meat. They're looking for a bright cherry red color, indicating freshness, and a good distribution of fat throughout the muscle. Any briskets that don't meet the strict standards are rejected. Interestingly, some artisanal makers prefer to use beef navel, which is fattier and more flavorful than brisket, though it's less commonly used in large-scale production. Once the beef has passed inspection, it moves on to the initial cleaning and preparation stage. This process begins with a thorough rinse of the briskets under cold water to remove any surface contaminants. The briskets are then placed on stainless steel tables where skilled butchers trim away any excess fat or sinew. While some fat is desirable for flavor, too much can result in an overly greasy final product. The trimmed briskets are then weighed and sorted into batches for consistent processing. Some producers use automated trimming machines that can process up to 500 briskets per hour, but many still prefer the precision of hand trimming for premium pastrami. After trimming, the briskets are subjected to a secondary inspection to ensure they meet size and weight specifications. The next stage is where the magic happens in pastrami production. It begins with the crucial step of brining, which not only seasons the meat but also helps preserve it. The brine solution typically contains water, salt, sugar, and a blend of spices that may include garlic, onion powder, and sometimes sodium nitrite for color retention and as a preservative. The exact recipe is often a closely guarded secret, passed down through generations of pastrami makers. The trimmed briskets are submerged in large vats of this brine solution and kept refrigerated at a temperature between 2 and 4 degrees Celsius. The brining process can last anywhere from 3 to 7 days, depending on the size of the briskets and the desired flavor intensity. During this time, the meat absorbs the brine, becoming infused with flavor and taking on a pinkish hue. Some producers use a needle injection method to speed up the brining process, where the brine is directly injected into the meat using a multi-needle injector. This can reduce brining time to as little as 24 hours. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos. After brining, the briskets are removed from the solution and allowed to drain for several hours. They're then coated with a spice rub that typically includes black pepper, coriander, mustard seeds, and sometimes paprika or chili flakes. This spice mixture is what gives pastrami its characteristic crust and additional layers of flavor. The application of the spice rub is often done by hand to ensure even coverage, although some large-scale operations use tumbling machines that can coat hundreds of briskets in a matter of minutes. Once coated, the briskets are left to rest for several hours or overnight to allow the spices to adhere to the surface of the meat. The next step in the process is smoking. The spice-rubbed briskets are placed on racks in large smokehouses. These smokehouses can be traditional wood-fired versions or modern, computer-controlled units that provide precise temperature and smoke control. The choice of wood used for smoking is crucial to the final flavor of the pastrami. Hardwoods like hickory, oak, or maple are commonly used, each imparting its own unique character to the meat. The smoking process typically lasts between 2 and 4 hours at a temperature of around 180 degrees Celsius. During this time, the smoke penetrates the meat, adding depth of flavor and creating the signature dark outer crust. It's worth noting that some producers opt for a longer, cooler smoke, which can last up to 12 hours at lower temperatures, resulting in a more intensely smoky flavor. An interesting fact about the smoking process is that it not only adds flavor, but also acts as a natural preservative. The compounds in wood smoke have antimicrobial properties that help extend the shelf life of the product. After smoking, the briskets are cooled rapidly to prevent bacterial growth. This is usually done in blast chillers that can bring the internal temperature of the meat down to 4 degrees Celsius within a few hours. The secondary processing stage involves cooking the smoked briskets to achieve the tender texture that pastrami is known for. This is typically done through a process called steam cooking. The cooled, smoked briskets are placed in large steam ovens or pressure cookers. These industrial-sized units can hold hundreds of kilograms of meat at a time. The briskets are steamed at a temperature of around 95 degrees Celsius for 3 to 4 hours, or until they reach an internal temperature of at least 74 degrees Celsius. This slow, moist cooking method helps break down the tough connective tissues in the brisket, resulting in the melt-in-your-mouth texture that lovers crave. Some artisanal producers prefer to use a traditional method of wrapping the briskets in cloth and boiling them, which can take up to 8 hours but is said to produce a superior texture. After steam cooking, the pastrami is allowed to cool slowly to room temperature. This resting period is crucial as it allows the meat fibers to relax and reabsorb some of the juices, resulting in a moister final product. The cooling process usually takes several hours and is carefully monitored to ensure food safety standards are met. Once cooled, the produce undergoes a final quality check. Trained tasters will sample the product, checking for proper texture, flavor balance, and overall quality. Any batches that don't meet the standard are set aside for further processing or, in rare cases, discarded. The packaging stage is crucial in maintaining the quality and extending the shelf life of the staple. Most commercial brisket is sold pre-sliced for convenience. The cooled beef is first transported to a slicing area where it's cut into uniform slices using high-speed slicing machines. These machines can process up to 1,000 kilograms of briskets per hour, producing slices of consistent thickness. The sliced pastrami is then typically vacuum-packed in plastic bags. Vacuum packaging removes air from the package, which helps prevent oxidation and bacterial growth, thereby extending the product's shelf life. Some premium beef products are packaged whole for slicing at the point of sale, which some connoisseurs believe provides a better texture and flavor experience. For pre-sliced pastrami, the vacuum-sealed packages are often then placed in cardboard boxes for easier handling and distribution. These boxes are labeled with product information, including weight, ingredients, nutritional information, and use-by dates. Many producers use automated systems that can weigh, seal, and label hundreds of packages per hour. The final stage in the pastrami production process is storage and distribution. After packaging, the brisket is moved to refrigerated storage areas where it's kept at a temperature between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. This low temperature helps maintain the quality of the product and prevents bacterial growth. Large-scale producers often have vast refrigerated warehouses that can store thousands of kilograms of briskets. When it comes to distribution, this beef staple requires careful handling to maintain its quality. It's typically transported in refrigerated trucks, often referred to as reefers in the industry. These trucks maintain a constant low temperature throughout the journey, whether it's a short trip to a local deli or a long-haul journey across the country. Many large producers have sophisticated distribution networks that allow them to deliver their products to retailers and food service establishments across wide geographical areas. Some companies use a hub-and-spoke model, where large quantities of pastrami are sent to regional distribution centers, and from there, smaller quantities are dispatched to local retailers. This system allows for more efficient transportation and helps ensure that the product reaches its destination as fresh as possible. The global market for pastrami and other cured meats has been growing steadily in recent years, with annual sales estimated to be in the billions of pounds. While traditionally associated with Jewish delicatessens in North America, pastrami has found popularity in many parts of the world. In the United Kingdom, for example, this staple has become increasingly popular in recent years, with several artisanal producers creating their unique versions of this classic deli meat. The production of pastrami is a fascinating blend of traditional methods and modern technology. While the basic process of bringing, spicing, smoking, and steaming has remained largely unchanged for generations, Advancements in food science and technology have allowed for more consistent production on a larger scale. For instance, the use of controlled atmosphere packaging can extend the shelf life of this staple to up to 60 days when refrigerated properly. In recent years, there's been a growing trend towards artisanal and small-batch pastrami production. These smaller producers often pride themselves on using traditional methods and high-quality, locally sourced ingredients. Some are experimenting with unique spice blends or smoking techniques to create distinctive flavor profiles. This trend has led to a wider variety of pastrami available in the market, from classic New York style to more exotic variants infused with non-traditional spices or smoked over unusual wood types. The production of beef pastrami is a complex process that combines time-honored traditions with modern food science and technology. From the careful selection of raw materials to the final packaging and distribution, every step is crucial in creating this beloved deli meat. Whether produced on a large scale for international distribution or in small batches by artisanal makers, this staple continues to be a popular choice for sandwich lovers and food enthusiasts around the world. If you enjoyed learning about how beef pastrami is made, don't forget to like the video, comment below, and make sure you subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content on food production.